Bill Gates calls for farmers to be replaced with smart farming AI technology. Bill Gates does not quit. I mean, I give him that. I give him that. This man, this evil man, does not stop with coming up with evil ideas to try to destroy humanity, to try to depopulate our country. He just can't help himself. So we gonna talk a little bit about it. But before we get started, go ahead and hit that like button. Share this out so we get this information out there. Subscribe if you're not already a subscriber, and hit that alarm bell so you know when I'm putting out new stuff. Also, check out my link tree in the description. It has a link to my Patreon. That's where I talk about things I can't talk about here. There's also a link to my Instagram in my merch store. Also, check out jjthepsychotherapist.com for news as well. All right, let's talk about this news. Now, this comes from Slay News, uh, the great Frank Bergman, and he reports that billionaire Bill Gates is calling for governments to advance artificial intelligence driven smart farming technology to replace human farmers around the world. Now, we already have um, a really bad shortage of meat of beef, to be specific, of beef. I think I think they said like over 1 billion pounds less than what we had last year, and it's getting worse. And the government is doing nothing to help our farmers. Our farmers are struggling right now in this economy, but yet they're sending billions upon billions of dollars to help Ukraine farmers. I mean, it's disgusting, but that's a whole nother story. Maybe I'll do a whole separate video on that. Um, but the article goes on to say that Gates made the call during his recent tour of India, where he observed experiments of the AI tech being put into practice. As Slate News reported, Gates has been meeting with Indian political leaders, government officials, scientists, philanthropists, and other globalists to discuss his ongoing technology experiments in the country. Why are they allowing this guy to be in their country experimenting on stuff in the first place? I do not know. But during his trip, Gates praised the tyrannical digital ID system that has been rolled out for the general public in India. I did a whole video on that crazy system and how they want to push that. They want to outsource that around the world and have everyone connected to a digital system. Again, every single evil thing you can think of to try to destroy this planet, this man is in on, and he is all for it. But after introducing the program nationwide, Indian citizens are now required to use their digital ID in order to access basic services. While the IDs are not mandatory, people are essentially locked out of society if they refuse to comply with the technology. The system has set off alarm bells in the free world, as many believe the Indian experiment could soon spread to Western nations as it already has done in Australia. However, Microsoft co founder Gates, who is no stranger to conducting experiments in third world nations, think about what he's doing with the polio stuff in Africa, is hailing the scheme as an inspiration that other countries should follow. Meanwhile, Gates has also been impressed by India's experiments to replace farmers with AI technology. This week, Gates published a blog stating that alongside digital IDs, AI driven smart farming is a quote inspiration that must be incorporated by other nations. Gates met with India's Prime Minister Narendra Modi during the trip. They specifically discuss how the world's biggest democracy has managed to implement digital IDs and smart farming. Quote, we had a great conversation about how the Gates Foundation can continue to support India's goal on digital technology, women led development, and innovation in agriculture, health, and climate change. Gates wrote about the hours of discussion he had with Modi. After pushing his digital ID system in his blog post, Gates continued by promoting what he calls smart farming in India. Quote, I got to see India's DPI in action when I toured an agriculture monitoring center in Bhubaneswar, he said. Um, And he goes on to say, at this facility, government agriculture experts send advice and real-time updates to 6.5 million farmers via phone. The Gates Foundation supports a lot of work on agriculture in India, so I was excited to attend a learning session in New Delhi on Thursday with experts on livestock and crops. I learned about the latest innovation in artificial insemination, buffalo breeding, climate smart seeds, and so much more. He added, however, while the technology developers are currently working with farmers, the long term plan is not to help human farmers as Gates is suggesting. Gates is not supporting work on agriculture for the benefit of farmers or the population at large. Of course not. Of course not. He is taking control of the food supply across the world, including India, for his benefit and the benefit of his collaborators. The smart farming tech seeks to replace farmers, not help them. At the end of 2022, the ETC Group published a report titled Food Barons 2022 Crisis: Profiteering, Digitalization, and Shifting Power. The ETC Group report describes how the food barons are introducing a suite of new technology and techno fixes that are conceived and designed to entrench corporate control over food and agriculture even further. See, what they want to do is they want to replace human work, human labor with AI and robot work and labor, and that's once they replace us, they won't need us anymore, and that's why depopulation is so important. That's why he's pushing these other agendas with the food and stuff like that to help with depopulating the world, because we're all going to be replaced with AI and robots, and that's what this is the beginning of. But quote, tech giants are becoming prime players in food, handling the data, networking, and AI that undergirds the newly digitized food chain, the ETC Group wrote, introducing its report. In the report, the ETC Group describes the dream farm of the technocrats. And here we go here. It is a farm of one where technology does all the work and rake in the benefits as noted in the report. Every leading agrochemical company offers its own digital ag platform marketed to farmers as a way to transition on farm data into savings that will ultimately increase farm profitability. The holy grail, they say, is a farm of one, where a single farmer, data manager, equipped with many thumbs perhaps, can log on to a connected device, watch as the algorithms calculate input prescriptions based on data collected from in-field sensors and hyperspectral imaging, and then send those prescriptions to a fleet of contracted drones that will dump herbicides, fungicides, fertilizer, growth regulator, or other input in just right dosage for each plant growing in the field. Post harvest, the farmer can supposedly sit back and enjoy the profits from increased crop sales and reduced labor costs, as well as from payments for carbon sequestration verified by traceability data collected and stored on a blockchain. The push from Gates comes amid a war on food that seeks to take control of the farming industry. As Slate News recently reported, this push is now extending beyond the agriculture industry as globalists now seek to ban members of the public from growing their own food. And I did a whole video on that. But this is the real replacement. This is the real great replacement. Um, at first, we thought that the great replacement was white folk being replaced um, by black folk. Then we start to believe that the real great replacement is illegal immigrants coming and replacing black people. But that's not the end goal. The end goal, the real great replacement, the real deception, the real replacement here is AI, robots replacing humans to do anything, to do all tasks, to do especially labor stuff, so they won't need us plebes anymore and that's when that's why this depopulation agenda is put forth, because they plan on replacing us all. And they'll live their best lives in their mansions, and still be able to fly around, and the people that's still alive to do special support tasks will be eating bugs, and will be eating lab grown meats, and will own nothing, and will love it. And this is what the globalists want. And that's what this is all about. But let me know what you think about this. Leave your comments down below. Like, share, and subscribe. And check out jjthepsychotherapist.com for the latest in news. Until next time, peace.